Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about the secret desire that all women want from men, okay? So this secret desire, I believe, is emotional self-control. Okay, that's what I believe what most women want from men that they start dating, that they are looking for, that they can hopefully potentially marry someday. And maybe they're even looking at from their current boyfriends and husbands. So what do I mean by emotional self-control? So there are a couple of things that this means, a few things that this means. So the first thing is centered emotionally, right? So what I mean by centered emotionally is that if you are feeling upset or if you're feeling angry about something, you know how to sort of control it within yourself. You don't fly off the handles and start crying uncontrollably, or you burst out in anger and things like that, because that kind of thing tends to scare women when they interact with a man that can fly off the handles either too emotionally or in a very angry way, right? That usually makes women feel a bit wary. Okay, now, this doesn't mean that you can't be upset. It doesn't mean that you can't ever be angry. Of course you can. But the point is that you know how to control that within yourself, and you know how to let off the steam, basically. Like if you're angry, you know how to get that out of yourself in a healthy way. Like you go to the gym, you exercise, or you journal about it. Or you just, remove yourself from the situation and go for a walk. You go into the man cave, have a think about it. Things like that. Or you go and talk to your therapist about it, right? It doesn't mean, of course, and as well, like it doesn't matter if sometimes, like occasionally, let's say when a tragedy happens to you, like let's say you lose a friend or you lose like a parent or something, or a sibling or someone just really, really close to you. It's okay to obviously be upset and cry in those times. You're not supposed to be a stone. You're not supposed to, not have any emotion whatsoever. Because obviously there are going to be times in your life where you're going to have tragedies and have things that are just really, really not good. But the point is that you know how to control that within yourself. You know what to do to solve that. Not necessarily solve it as in you can solve the problem, solve whatever's happened to you, but you can solve your emotions over it. Like, that you could journal about it, you could exercise, you could talk to a therapist about it, or you could just go and sit and think about it for a while by yourself. That's how you healthily manage your emotions, okay? You get it out in some way. But you don't fly off the handles, because when you fly off the handles and you become overly angry, you punch the wall or you start throwing things, that scares women, okay? And I know this from my own experience, because I grew up with a father and I had two brothers. I have two brothers. And one particular brother was quite good at getting very, very angry. Okay, and he was scary sometimes, and it scared me to be around him when he was angry. So luckily, it's something that he sort of managed to deal with now that he's a bit older. He seems to have mellowed out a bit, which is good. But he was quite scary. I was quite scared of him sometimes. So, and I know I wasn't the only one. My mother got quite worried as well. So having someone like that who is just like emotionally unstable can be very scary for women, okay? Especially because men tend to be stronger. Like if you think about it logically, men are stronger, generally. Not all the time, but most of the time, men are bigger, stronger. So all the time, women are at the mercy of men. At least that's what it seems like. And if a man is particularly angry and scary and unpredictable, it tends to make a woman feel very wary, okay? So that's just one thing. What would make a woman more attracted to you is if you knew how to control those emotions. And you might already be good at that. But having emotional control and being centered emotionally and knowing how to center yourself is really important. So another thing about emotional self-control is what would make a woman find you more attractive and what she would desire from you is if you are not as emotional than what she is. Because women tend to be more emotional creatures. We are more emotional. It's just how it is. It's probably to do with the different hormones that women have than what men have. But women tend to be a lot more emotional. So the idea then is that you're not as emotional as what she is. Okay? Now, something that I've noticed as well is that you don't want to make women, when you're in a relationship, you don't want to make women the leader of the emotions. And what I mean by that is that you should always be sort of noticing how she's reacting, how she is, what kind of mood she's in, basically. And you kind of want to be consistent. You always, like, if you're in a happy mood, just because she's upset doesn't mean that you have to now be upset. Don't let her control the mood of the situation. If you're in a good mood and you notice that your woman is sad, then it's then your job to uplift her and make her feel better and to bring her to your mood. And you do that by asking her questions, by letting her get off her chest, by communicating with her, basically just asking her a lot of questions about what's going on, so she can talk about it, so she can start to feel better. Because women tend to feel better when they've spoken about what's going on with them. And it's the same if she's in a fiery mood and she's angry. You want to try and bring her back to your level, because you should be in charge. Because usually in male and female relationships, the male is in charge of the situation, in charge of the environment, okay? Because you're, I don't know, the protector or whatever it is, right? But you should be the one that is in charge of the atmosphere. So if she's upset or angry, it's your job to make her feel better so that she can come back to your level, so you can be, so she can feel better about what's going on, because you're in charge, you're the leader. So therefore, you're in charge of the atmosphere. Okay, now obviously, that's a lot easier said than done. Sometimes if a woman's going through a tragedy, like she's just lost someone, sometimes the only thing you can really say to someone when they're upset about something that's horrible is, yeah, this situation sucks. I'm really sorry that it's happening. Sometimes that's all you can ever say, right? Because it's just so heartbreaking what's going on. But if it's something small, it should be very easy for you to pull her back to your universe where everything's all fine, okay? So that's kind of how you want to see it. You want to see it as, I'm in charge of the atmosphere, okay? And I'm in a good mood, so I'm going to try and make, my woman feel better so she can be in a good mood too, or whatever it may be, okay? So you don't want her to be in charge of the dynamic, right? So that means if she's angry, that doesn't mean that it's time for you to become angry too. Because you're the leader, you're the one that is in charge of the atmosphere, not her. She doesn't want to be in charge of the atmosphere either. She doesn't want you to match and mirror what her mood is. She doesn't want that, okay? She wants you to open her up so she can feel better and so she can be back in your world where everything is fine, okay? So another thing that I think is really cool, and this was coined by Mark Manson when it comes to emotional self-control, especially in dating, and that is, he coined a word called non-neediness. Right, so you don't want to be more needy than what she is, okay? So that's another thing that comes down to emotional self-control. And this is where a lot of people go wrong when they're dating as well. Like, one person is usually more needy than the other. And the one that's more needy is usually the one that is more invested in the relationship. So you've got two people that have been on, let's say, like 2 dates with each other. There's one that's really, really, really into the other one. And there's still the other person is still sort of like, yeah, I'm just seeing where things go. When that one that's more needy, the one that's more invested, becomes more needy and starts messaging that person more, starts trying to confirm or try to reaffirm that the other person is still interested, that usually turns the person who is the less needy one off. So you want to develop non-neediness, and I highly recommend that you read the book Models, or get the audiobook of Models by Mark Manson, because that really dives into non-neediness, and it really helps. He can explain it way better than I can, obviously. So I highly recommend that you get that book. So another thing as well about emotional self-control, one of the things that I see most wives compliment their husbands over, women that have been in happy long-term marriages, is they always describe their husband as their rock, right? Someone they can lean on and rely on, especially emotionally. It always seems to be like in an emotional sense. He's my rock. So that means when she's upset, she can go to him and get comfort. That's what I've seen. So when, like, they're saying she's having a particular bad day at work, or she's going through some sort of turbulent time in her life, she can rely on her husband for emotional support and strength, okay? So that's the biggest compliment that I've seen. Women who are happy when they describe their husbands, especially in terms of emotional things, they describe their husband as their rock. Okay? Something else to think about. So the other thing with emotional self-control, and this kind of goes into non-neediness, and that is patience, especially when dating, right? Because you sometimes see, just for example, there might be a guy who messages a girl saying, hey, how are you? There's a girl that they may go to school with or someone that they like at work. They say, hey, how are you? They're hoping to get their attention, hoping to start a conversation. They don't hear back from the woman, and so they send another, hey, how are you? So essentially, it's like they're playing football with themselves. They keep on trying to, pass the ball over to the woman, and they can just keep on kicking balls at her, basically, right? And she's not passing back. But the thing is, when you kick a ball to someone, you have to wait for them to kick it back. You can't be just kicking balls, okay? Right? So take that any way that you want to, any analogy that you want. But the point is, when you send a message, you need to wait for the response, no matter how long. You may never get a response from her, but don't keep on saying, hey, how are you? And keep on sending them. If she read the first one, she didn't respond, then that's, a no message is also a message, essentially, right? That's what you got to think of here. Okay, so being patient and waiting for responses from women. And also when it comes to that, get to the point quickly. You should be only using Messenger and things like that as a tool to arrange meetups, not to chit chat. Right, so once a girl replies to you and you're talking to her online or through Messenger or texting, WhatsApp, whatever it is, quickly arrange a date with her. Say, hey, I'd love to see you. When are you free to hang out? And then wait for her response. If she wants to hang out with you too, she will tell you when she's available. And then when she says you're available, let's say she says she's available on Saturday and you're also available on Saturday, you can be like, great, how about we meet at this restaurant at this time and I'll see you on Saturday. And then you've arranged a date. Congratulations, right? Just get down to it straight away, okay? So when it comes to this sort of thing, I recommend, especially with communication, I recommend getting the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. If you need help with dating, I recommend 3% Man by Corey Wayne and Models by Mark Manson, so you can learn more about non-neediness. And that should help you. You'll be able to find links to those books in the description of this video. You should be able to find a link to an Amazon page where I've got those books. You don't have to buy them through that link because I would get a small commission if you did buy from those links. But you could just go to that page, write down all the books that are there, go to the library, get them out, or go and buy them from a shop or something like that. Or you could get them from eBay, like a cheap version, because some of them have been around for a while. Like How to Win Friends and Influence People is one of those books. That's been around for like nearly 100 years now. So you should be able to find a free copy. Well, not a free copy, but a very cheap version of that. And it should definitely be in your local library. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.